Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized DNZ, and it's time for the wonderful video for November. So I don't know whether you know or remember, but I have additional wonderful videos over on my Patreon account that are reserved for my visualizer and visionary tiers. So if you're interested in the wonderful videos and seeing more of them, then hop along to Patreon and check them out, subscribe or become a patron if that's something that you would like to do. But once a month I'm going to be doing one on my public YouTube, and today is the day. So today we're going to look at part of childhood that is perhaps not so fond, and I don't think we should be afraid of that, because there's still a wonder to be found within that, either the wonder of what it felt like as a child, or what it feels like now as an adult looking back on that thing during your childhood. And what I'm looking at today is worry. So what worried you as a child? So I've got an image here of the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. This is my personal journal, so that's where it's going to go. So I'm just going to start colouring this in as I chat, otherwise it's going to be a very long video. Obviously I don't need to colour the rabbit itself because it's white, and maybe a bit of grey or something for shadowing. Yeah, so worry. What did you used to worry about as a child? What thing did you get freaked out over, I guess, or concerned about? What was it in your childhood? Now for me, it was time, and that's why I've got this white rabbit looking at his little watch. Time used to worry me. I used to be so upset if I was late to anything, and I would leave like literally half an hour earlier than I would need to, just so I wouldn't get to where I was going late. And if there was any possibility that we were going to be late, then I would just prefer not to go. And if we did go and we were late, I would be so embarrassed. So I used to spend a lot of energy worrying about being late. So if we were going to be late to church, then it just filled me with dread. If I was going to be late to school, I used to have nightmares that I was late for the school bus, and that I'd turn up at the school bus and have no clothes on because I didn't have time to get dressed, or I was dressed but didn't have my school bag because I hadn't had time to organise it, or that I'd turn up for the bus and I wouldn't have lunch for the day because I hadn't had time to grab my lunch to put it in my bag. So I used to spend so much time worrying about these things. And as an adult, to bring some perspective onto those things that worried us as a child can be quite enlightening. Now, I do have to say, I still don't like being late. I'd prefer to be on time or early, but I don't have the same fear and frustration and embarrassment if either I think I'm going to be late or if I am late. I've got more confidence. So that's a part of childhood that I've grown out of, that I've learned how to cope with better. So that's part of your wonder as an adult, of learning how to cope with these things, of how to change the narrative so it's not this really huge thing anymore. And one of the things that used to, I just went absolutely crazy over, was the dentist. I don't like the dentist. I still don't like going to the dentist. But when I was at high school, it was quite a walk to get to the dentist. So I'd have to walk from the school and down the street and then turn the corner and then go down the main street until I got to the dentist's office. And like I was saying, I would leave half an hour before I would need to. So I think the walk was like a 10-minute walk, and I would leave like 30 or 40 minutes before my appointment. I would, all the way, I'd be freaking out, and I would pray. Every step I took, I'd pray, please don't let me be late. Please don't let me be late. Please don't let me be late. I wasn't praying about the dentist or about pain or about not having any fillings needed or anything like that. I was praying that I wouldn't be late to the appointment. It used to stress me out hugely. And then on the way back, it was always a different story. I'd be much more relaxed. I'd, look around me. I'd enjoy the sights and the sounds and just take my time. And yet it often took me less time to get back than it did to get there, even though I was no longer rushing. It's quite weird. So that was my big thing, is time. And just so much wasted energy. But as a child, what's on your plate, out of you still find things to worry about or fret about, even as a child, when you haven't got much that's required of you. You still find something. So that was my thing, time. And I thought using the white rabbit, who, the classic line, I'm late for a very important date, just seemed to sum up that feeling for me. And also it's an image from childhood, a children's storybook, that just seemed to really, really fit. So I do have some other things as well. In the book sale that I went to recently, this image I printed off the internet. They're free images. Just search for the white rabbit. This is the original illustrations by, I think his name's John Tenniel, and they were done in 1860 something, so they're free to use. But in the book sale I went to recently, this was in the throw out pile. It's totally unused. And I looked at it and thought, oh no. And then I grabbed it back because there's some cute little images I thought might be quite useful. And at the back it's got these clocks. So I thought I might add a clock or two into my journal spread as well as this picture of the white rabbit. So in your exercise for this episode of Wonderful, if you want to do it, is I want you to reminisce about what used to stress you out, what used to worry you as a child. And then how's it changed? Like, does it still freak you out? Or has it toned down a bit? Like, I still don't like being late, but I can cope with it. How do you handle it now? Is it like something you don't even have to worry about handling because it's just not an issue anymore? Or are there things that you've done, like perhaps if it's a time related, like leaving early? Are there steps that you've taken to mitigate those? Or do you still have the same habits around that thing as an adult? So write about what it felt like as a child, what thing used to freak you out, what worried you, and then how it's changed as an adult, if it has changed. It may not have. Whoops. Getting my cheek pattern all out of kilter here with my talking. So that's what I'd like you to do. If you choose to participate, you certainly are not required to. It's just a bit of fun. Have a chance to reminisce on things that have changed, things that you fill you with wonder. And I think the wonder of being released from the worry that you had as a childhood can be a very good thing. So that's really it for today. There's not too much more I want to say on that, except that I've completely mucked up the colouring of the coat. But just so you get an idea for what I'm choosing to do with this prompt, so I've got my picture of the white rabbit, and I think I'm going to turn it into a tip-in so that he will flip up and that I can write all about those things that I've just talked to you about. So the things that worried me, as in being late, so time pressure, and in what particular circumstances that it was a pressure for me, and how things have changed as an adult. I am so much more relaxed. I don't get embarrassed the same. I've got more ability to go in and, oh yeah, late, hi, not a problem, sorry, a better ability to just get on with things. Because, yeah, people look up. So what? It's natural. They hear a noise, they look up. It's not that they're judging you. It's not that they think you're a bad person. And so the wonder for me as an adult is having got past that embarrassment factor, having got past that real stress out feeling of, oh, we're late, we can't go. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want everyone looking at me. So for me, the huge wonder as an adult is that I've grown. I've grown past that. So that's going to be my journal spread for today, is that and some of these clocks, which I might pop around the place just to reinforce what the whole story was, and then my regular journaling included as part of the spread as well. So that's the wonderful episode for today. I hope that it's helpful. I hope that you like it, and I would love if you participated. If you do, then and you want to share it on social media, post on Instagram, tag Wonderful on Instagram, and it's WONDERFILL is the hashtag for it. Or you can pop into my Facebook group, Visual Vibes, and post a picture in there, ask any questions. And as always, if you like this video, then a thumbs up on the video, leave me a comment. I'd be so grateful. I love hearing from my lovely subscribers, or if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to hear from you too. And do consider subscribing to my channel. Okay, that's it for today, guys, and I'll see you back next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.